She texted, "I need space. Don't call, don't text, don't exist for a while." I wrote, "Done." Then I gave her permanent space by returning every gift she'd ever given me to her doorstep. Her mother's call asking why 40 boxes were blocking their driveway. Original post I, 29 male, got the text at 11:43 p.m. on a Thursday. My girlfriend Natalie, 27, and I had been together for 4 years, living together for 2. The message was cold, clinical. "I need space. Don't call, don't text, don't exist for a while. I'll reach out when I'm ready to talk." No context, no explanation. We'd had dinner together 6 hours earlier. She kissed me goodbye when I left for my night shift at the warehouse. Everything seemed normal. I stared at my phone in the break room, read it 3 times. My coworker Dennis asked if I was okay. I showed him the text. "Damn bro, that's harsh." Yeah, it was. I typed back one word, "Done." Then I went back to work. Finished my shift. Drove home at 7 a.m. to an empty apartment. Her overnight bag was gone. Some clothes missing from the closet. Her toothbrush gone from the bathroom. She'd planned this. Packed while I was at work. Sent the text knowing I couldn't come home to talk. I sat on our couch, well, my couch that she'd picked out, and looked around. 4 years of relationships scattered everywhere. Picture frames, her books mixed with mine on the shelves. The throw pillows she insisted we needed. The coffee maker she bought me for my birthday. The gaming headset she got me for Christmas. The watch she gave me for our anniversary. Everything had her fingerprints on it. She wanted space? She wanted me to not exist? All right then. I started in the living room. The throw pillows went into a box. The picture frames, every single one with us in it, into another box. The books she'd given me, the vinyl records she'd surprised me with, the houseplants she'd picked out, all of it. Box after box after box. The bedroom was harder. The cologne she liked, the dress shirts she'd bought because you need to dress better for date nights. The cufflinks, the ties, the leather jacket for my birthday last year that I actually loved, but it was from her. I found stuff I'd forgotten about. Movie ticket stubs she'd saved and framed. A journal she'd given me that I'd never used. Concert tickets she'd surprised me with. Gift cards still in their little celebration envelopes. Even found the coupon book she'd made me for Valentine's Day 3 years ago. Good for 1 back massage. Free pass to pick the movie. Breakfast in bed. Never used a single one because we always joked we'd save them for when we really needed them. By noon I had 27 boxes packed. But I wasn't done. I went through my phone. Screenshots of every sweet text she'd sent over the years talking about our future, our plans, the house we'd buy, the kids we'd have, the trips we'd take. Printed them all out on my crappy printer. 4 years of promises. 186 pages. Put that in a box too. Then I went through my closet again. Found the memory box she'd made us keep. Ticket stubs. Wristbands from festivals. Pressed flowers from our first date. The cork from the wine bottle when she said "I love you" for the first time. Box number 35, the kitchen was last. The matching mugs with our initials. The apron that said "Kiss the cook" she'd gotten as a joke. The expensive knife set she'd bought because I mentioned once that I liked cooking. The spice rack she'd organized with little labels. 40 boxes total. I loaded them all into my truck and the trailer I borrowed from Dennis. Drove to her parents' house where I knew she was staying. They lived in one of those suburban neighborhoods with long driveways. 4:30 p.m. I knew her dad would be at work. Her mom would be home. Natalie would probably be there too, working from home on her laptop, enjoying her space. I backed the trailer up to their driveway and started unloading, box by box, stacked them neat and organized, completely blocking the driveway from garage to street. 3 boxes wide, multiple rows deep. A wall of cardboard. On the very last box I taped a note. "You wanted space. Here's everything that connected us. Now you have infinite space. Your non-existent ex." I was pulling away when I saw her mom come out the front door, mouth open in shock. My phone started ringing before I even turned the corner. Her mom declined. Then Natalie declined. Her mom again. This time I answered. "What is the meaning of this?" Her mom Deb screeched. "Hi Deb, Natalie asked for space and for me to not exist for a while. I'm simply returning her belongings and giving her what she asked for." "These aren't my belongings. This is all stuff I gave you." Natalie's voice in the background. "Yeah, and they're reminders of you. You don't want me to exist, remember? Hard to not exist when your stuff is everywhere in my place. You're being ridiculous. Get back here and move these boxes. I can't get my car out. That sounds like a you problem. I don't exist, remember? Ghosts can't move boxes. I hung up. 47 missed calls by the time I got home. Yeah, I know specific number. I counted because it was funny. Texts from her, her mom, her sister Becca, her best friend Jenna. All variations of, "You're being childish. This is petty. Move the boxes now. We're calling the police. You're insane." I responded to exactly none of them. She wanted space. She wanted me to not exist. I was just following instructions. Update 1, 2 days later. The entitlement started almost immediately. Day 1 after the Great Box Wall incident, I woke up to someone banging on my apartment door at 6 a.m. Through the peephole, Natalie's dad, Robert. Now Robert's a big dude, works construction. Always tried to intimidate me with his handshake when we first met. I opened the door but kept the chain on. "You're going to move those boxes. Today." He said it like it was a fact. "No, I'm not. Listen here, you little..." "Robert, those are gifts Natalie gave me. I'm returning them because she wants space. They're on your property now. Your problem. She's devastated. You humiliated her. She texted me to not exist. I'm actually not even having this conversation right now because I don't exist." His face went red. "I'll move them myself and dump them on your doorstep." "Please do. I'll call the police for illegal dumping. I have proof they're all items she gave me. I returned her property to her residence. What you do with them is your business." He actually raised his fist. I just stood there. "Go ahead, Robert. Hit me. I'll press charges and you'll get arrested for assault. Great look for your construction business." He lowered his fist and stormed off. 2 hours later, the apartment management called. They'd received a complaint about abandoned property in my unit and hoarding behavior. "Ma'am, I just did a massive declutter. My apartment is cleaner than it's been in years." The manager was confused but said she had to investigate. She came by, saw my spotless apartment, and left shaking her head. That afternoon, I got a text from an unknown number. "Natalie's sister Becca, using someone else's phone. You need to know that Natalie only asked for space because she was confused. Kyle from her work has been pursuing her and she needed time to think. You just pushed her right into his arms with this stunt." Kyle. From her work. The one she always said was annoying and wouldn't take a hint. So she needed space to figure out if she wanted to be with Kyle. Cool. Space granted. Permanently. I screenshotted that text. Didn't respond. Then came the social media explosion. Natalie posted this long thing about how some people can't handle mature communication, and when you ask for time to process trauma and get abused instead. Trauma? What trauma? We'd been fine. No fights, no issues. Unless considering Kyle's advances was traumatic. Her friends piled on, comments about toxic masculinity and emotional manipulation, and this is why women are scared to leave. To leave? She asked for space, not a breakup. But apparently now it was leaving? The narrative kept changing. My buddy Dennis screenshot everything and sent it to me. Bro, she's rewriting history. But here's where it gets good. Remember those 186 pages of text I printed out? Where she talked about our future? Our wedding plans? How she wanted to grow old with me? How she never felt so secure with anyone? I scanned them all, made a neat little PDF. Then I posted it on my social media with the caption, "Since we're sharing our truth, here's mine. 4 years of promises versus one text asking me to not exist. I gave her the space she wanted. Now I'm being called abusive for respecting her wishes. Make it make sense." The comments exploded. People who'd been attacking me started deleting their comments. Natalie's post disappeared within an hour. But she wasn't done. That evening around 8 p.m., police knocked on my door. 2 officers, looking tired and annoyed. "Sir, we got a call about stolen property?" I laughed. Actually laughed. "Officers, let me guess, about 40 boxes worth?" They exchanged glances. "Yes, actually." I showed them my phone, the photos I'd taken of every single gift before boxing them. Receipts she'd sent me over the years. "Look what I got you" texts. The original "I need space, don't exist" text. Her sister's text about Kyle. "So, she gave you these gifts, told you to not exist, and you returned the gifts to her?" Exactly. The older officer sighed. "Ma'am," he said into his radio, "the items were gifts given to him. He returned them to your property. This is a civil matter. not criminal. We're leaving. I heard screeching through the radio. The officers looked at each other with that, "We don't get paid enough for this" expression. After they left, I checked my security camera app. Natalie's car was outside, her sitting in it, waiting. For what? For me to come out and talk, to beg her to come back? She sat there for 2 hours. I made dinner, watched Netflix, lived my life. She wanted me to not exist, but here she was, existing in my parking lot. Eventually she left. Update 2, 1 week later. The extinction burst, yeah, I learned the term from Reddit, was spectacular. It started with the boxes still in their driveway. Apparently they'd tried to throw them away, but the garbage company wouldn't take that many. They'd have to make multiple trips to the dump, which cost money and effort. So the boxes just sat there, getting wet when it rained, neighbors starting to complain. Natalie showed up at my work. The warehouse has strict security. You need a badge to get in. She stood at the gate for an hour, telling the security guard she was my girlfriend and there was an emergency. Gary, the guard, called me. "There's a woman here says she's your girlfriend?" "I don't have a girlfriend, Gary." "That's what I thought. She's making a scene, though." "That's unfortunate. If she doesn't leave, maybe call the actual police." She left when Gary started dialing. Then came the financial threats. See, over 4 years, Natalie had probably spent, I don't know, maybe $8,000 on gifts for me. She wanted it all back. Every penny. Sent me an itemized list through her friend Jenna's Instagram. Leather jacket, $600. Gaming headset, $300. Watch, $1,200. Coffee maker, $400. On and on. 47 items, there's that number again, swear I'm not making it up. At the bottom, total owed, $8,047. Payment expected within 7 days or legal action will be taken. Legal action, right? I forwarded it to my cousin who's a paralegal. She laughed for 5 straight minutes. Gifts don't work that way. She'd get laughed out of court. But Natalie wasn't done. Oh no. This is where the real entitlement came out. She started calling my mom. My mom lives 3 states away. They'd met maybe 5 times total. But Natalie found her number and called her crying about how I was destroying her life and being vindictive and how she just needed time to think. My mom, bless her, listened patiently. Then said, "Sweetheart, you told my son to not exist. He's simply honoring your request. What did you expect? That he'd wait around like a puppy while you figured out if you wanted someone else? It's not like that. I wasn't. I just needed space." Space from what? From a man who loved you, supported you, helped you through your dad's surgery last year? That kind of space? Natalie hung up on my mom. My mom. The audacity. But the peak entitlement came that Thursday. I got home from work to find my apartment door slightly open. Lock wasn't broken, but the door was cracked. I carefully pushed it open. Everything was ransacked. Drawers pulled out, closets emptied, cushions flipped. At first I thought I'd been robbed. Then I noticed nothing valuable was missing. My TV, PlayStation, laptop, all still there, but other things were gone. The spare coffee maker from the pantry, not a gift from her, one I'd bought myself. Some of my hoodies she used to wear. My favorite mug that she'd claimed was ours. Random stuff that had no value except sentimental. I checked my security camera footage. There she was, 2 p.m., using her old key. Apparently I'd never changed the locks because I'm an idiot. Going through everything like a scavenger hunt, taking things that weren't even hers. I called the police immediately. Filed a report for breaking and entering. She wasn't a resident anymore, trespassing and theft. The officer who came was actually one from the previous week. "Your ex again?" "Yep." "You got footage?" "Crystal clear." He shook his head. "Press charges?" "Absolutely." They arrested her that night. She was released on bail the next morning, Daddy Robert to the rescue, but the charges stuck. The prosecutor's office said it was clear-cut. She entered a residence she didn't live in without permission and stole items. Her lawyer, yeah, she actually got one, tried to argue she still had residency rights. But I had texts from her saying she'd moved out. Her forwarded mail, her change of address, the "I need space" text itself, basically admitting she'd left. Final update, 3 weeks later. The legal stuff moved faster than expected. Natalie's lawyer convinced her to take a plea deal, misdemeanor trespassing, probation, and a restraining order that went both ways. She couldn't contact me, I couldn't contact her. Perfect. The trash took itself out. But the aftermath? That's where the real entitlement showed. Her mom, Deb, started a campaign to destroy me, called my employer claiming I was dangerous and unstable. HR had to investigate. I showed them everything. Texts, videos, police reports. They concluded I was the victim and warned that if the harassment continued, they'd pursue legal action against the caller. Robert tried the tough guy act one more time. Showed up at Dennis's house because he couldn't come to mine. Restraining order extends to family members acting on her behalf. Dennis is 6'4" and does MMA for fun. Robert left quickly. Natalie's friends launched a support campaign on social media, trying to raise money for her legal fees because she was abused and traumatized. It raised $127 before someone reported it for fraud and it got taken down. But here's the kicker. Becca, the sister, reached out through a mutual friend, not to apologize or anything reasonable. No, she wanted to know if I still had the coupon book because Natalie wanted it back for sentimental reasons. The coupon book that she made for me as a gift. That was now evidence in a criminal case. I didn't respond. 2 weeks ago, I ran into Kyle at a gas station. Yeah, Kyle from her work. The one she needed space to think about. He looked uncomfortable, tried to walk past me. "How's that working out for you?" I asked. He stopped. "Look, man, I didn't know you two were still together. We were living together. 4 years. She had her stuff at my place. She told me you were broken up, that you were stalking her, that she was scared of you." I showed him the "I need space" text, the date, the timeline. His face went pale. She moved in with me last week, told me you'd been abusive. That's why she needed somewhere safe to stay. Moved in? Already? Yeah, her and all her boxes. The boxes. She made Kyle deal with the 40 boxes of returned gifts. I couldn't help it. I laughed. Full-on belly laughed. Kyle looked confused, then angry, then defeated. She played me too, didn't she? Brother, she played herself. Found out later, small-town gossip, that Kyle kicked her out 3 days later when he found her texting another coworker about needing space to think about their relationship. Pattern of behavior. As for me, I'm doing okay. Not great, not terrible, just okay. 4 years is a long time to just write off. But you know what I have now? Space. Actual space. My apartment is mine. My time is mine. My hoodies are, well, those are gone. But I bought new ones. Changed my locks, finally. Deleted social media for a while. Started playing guitar again, something I'd stopped because Natalie said it was too loud. My mom calls weekly to check on me. Dennis and I started a bowling league. We're terrible, but who cares? My cousin, the paralegal, says Natalie's got no grounds to sue for anything, and if she tries, we'll countersue for harassment. The best part? The absolute best part? Last week, the 40 boxes were still in Robert and Deb's driveway. Wet, moldy, falling apart. The HOA sent them a notice about unsightly property violations. $50 per day fine until removed. Natalie wanted space. I gave her exactly what she asked for. Plus 40 boxes of reminders that you can't just put people on pause while you shop around for something better. She texted from a friend's phone yesterday, "I hope you're happy ruining my life." I didn't respond. I don't exist, remember? And honestly, yeah, I'm getting there. Happy. I mean, it's a process, but at least it's my process in my space, on my terms. The leather jacket, though? I do miss that jacket. It was really nice.